Welcome to Creative Vitality Jam Sessions. Here we have intimate conversations with extraordinary dance and theater artists about reimagining creativity and supporting and building community. Creative Vitality Jam Sessions and I walk in solidarity and as allies for equality, justice, and respect because Black Lives Matter. And we will continue walking the walk in order for change to come. I'm Helen Pickett, and today's guests are Nayara Lopes, First Soloist of Pennsylvania Ballet, and Sterling Baca, Principal of Pennsylvania Ballet. I have known Nayara, I believe, I have to check with her, since 2011, and I have known Sterling since 2017. Hello.
Hello.
Welcome. Nayara, correct me if I'm wrong. Do we know each other since 2011, since Dance Theater of Harlem?
We do.
Or later?
No, we know since Dance Theater of Harlem.
Yeah. And then Sterling, of course, you and I know each other from when I created Tilt.
That's right.
On Pennsylvania Ballet.
Yeah.
Great. So I believe one of you are actually in for the first time. This is the first time on Creative Vitality Jam Sessions. One of you is in my neck of the woods right now.
That's me.
That's right.
I'm in Philly.
That's right. And normally, Nayara, you're in Philly, but where are you now?
I'm in Boston. I'm visiting a friend.
Oh, lovely. Actually, a friend in Boston Ballet, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, Ilan Silva, and he danced with me before.
That's right. Yeah, the family. I love how tight our community is, and how, you know, these chains just keep linking. It's been something wonderful I found within these interviews, you know, the 6 degrees of separation. It's really beautiful.
Just gets a smaller world.
That's right. Yeah. So let's dive right in. You two have been very engaged during this time, both together and separately. Can you share some of those details? And if those details include live performance of some kind, I think I read somewhere you're doing TikTok videos. Can you please share that information? And I can start with Nayara.
Yes, sure. Yes, we have been very engaged. We did a lot of things as far as teaching, dancing. We did training. We opened up ourselves to teach different things that we thought we couldn't, like social dancing, and we went outside to do videos for whatever is happening in the moment with COVID and the protests. And I think the most fun was just to discover that we could do all of this inside of our houses, or just get out and, oh, we're choreographers now, and we can do this. So it was a really fun process. And I think that we got so much out of it, but in the same time, we felt like we could actually touch people from outside, and it was great to see the results. And there was a point that we were like, we want to do something totally different and show our versatility, and that's when we started TikTok. It was pretty fun because we could, you know, explore talking and singing and doing different things than just dancing and teaching. So I think Sterling could talk a little bit about the process as well.
Yeah.
Yes. Sterling, I'm gonna also, I want to hear what you have to say, but also maybe include how this reimagining, this time of really big reimagining, how you really both took that and decided, okay, right, so we're artists, we're current, and we're gonna dive in. So maybe add that to your answer.
Yeah. So this all went down in Philly on March 12th. Yes, I know that because unfortunately it was literally 2 hours before Nayara's debut of Nakia in the Guaira. Yeah.
And it was also the day of my premiere in Boston Ballet of Pedal and Sukkyo. Same thing.
Oh.
Yeah, no, it was really hard, but you know, after a few days, we kind of, you know, there's all this tension that builds. You're like, what's going on? This is like crazy. Is this real? What's happening? And then you realize that it's reality. This is what's happening. and we decided, you know, what are we going to do? What can we do to give back? What can we do to continue growing during this time? Because we can't just stagnate.
No.
As an artist, you're always trying to improve yourself. You're always trying to find new ways to express yourself. So, you know, we both immediately reached out to all the schools that we know. We ended up teaching for 6 different schools, nationally and internationally. I think we taught and took about 150 classes in 3 months. We would do like up to 2 to 4 classes a day.
Wow.
So in a way, we thought physically we actually improved technically, because a lot of ballet is stationary. I mean, 3 bars a day. But outside of that, we also, you know, we were left with one avenue to connect with people, with audiences, and do what we love to do, which is performing. So we kind of turned into our little own production company, you know, and it was like, we spent a lot of time making videos for Instagram, and then TikTok came up. I always say TikTok, attention deficit disorder, Instagram. When lip syncing became a talent. No, but it was fun, and then, you know, the civil unrest happened, the protests, the George Floyd, and many others, and that added an extra layer of kind of, we felt responsibility to express ourselves and organize our dancers in different ways, and make videos and talk about, have conversations, post things that are trying to get people to think about it, you know, and be more aware of what's going on, and care. And so, yeah, I mean, it was a roller coaster, and it still is. I mean, it's not over.
No, it's not over. I want to just mention, it's very, very heartening to hear. I can say this because I am your senior quite a few years, but it's very heartening to hear that your age group and as artists are taking up the mantle and saying, okay, you're a part of this. We need to talk about it. We will talk about it, and we will support. We will walk as allies. We will walk as members of the community. And I think, you know, this kind of energy moving forward, I think will be, if we keep doing it, will be the energy that turns the tide. And it's really heartening. I've heard a lot of people in your age group on these shows doing this kind of work, and it's about the long haul, isn't it? And it's kind of strange because it's like COVID. It's the long haul. We have this time in which we can better ourselves, we can look at ourselves, we can have the conversations, and we can support. We have this time to dig in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know? Yeah. And I think it's so important that we have this time to dig in the art and what we love to do, but we should also dig in who we are as people, because dancers too, sometimes we're so connected with how we should be, and our schedule is so hard, and I have a lot of things to do, and we forget to have the time to really, what do I want in my life? What is next? We have time to go back to school if we want, and I think this is something that dancers sometimes don't ever think about, or who we really are. It's like, we're dancers and we do a lot of things, but we don't really connect to our essence. And I think that's been really, really important for me, at least, that I can reconnect to me, Brazilian, and the things I used to do, and read a book. And I think it's very, very important for all of us.
Yes, I agree. And I think it's important for the generation.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think a generation that is still at a point of, you know, when I say attention deficit disorder, we have this society that's become so focused on social media, so focused on kind of at times fatuous things, you know, and I think this has been a real reality check for everybody, to kind of be a little more introspective, as Nayara said, and look at yourself, look at your community, look at your nation, and see, you know, what's wrong here, and what have I not been doing? You know, why I'm reading this book right now, and it's described like you're just like rowing to Niagara Falls the same way, and then you get to the falls and you're like, how did this happen? you know, when along the way, there were so many decisions you could have made, you know, could have, should have. And now you get to look back and be like, you know, even if I wasn't aware, now I'm like, oh, wow, you know, that was an opportunity that I didn't take, you know, or the nation.
Bravo. I think it's about the apathy, right? That this nation was kind of asleep.
Yeah.
Because, you know, we had it good and things kept rocking it. And, you know, very often we know this through injuries as dancers, right? In order for change to come, we usually have to go through hardship.
Very true.
You know, it's the thing that knocks us out of our apathy, or like you said, with the very, very quick and fatuous social media that draws us away from reality in a way, right? We can kind of hide in the really fast, rapid feed, if you will.
Which is kind of ironic how, you know, I was just thinking now as you said that a lot of the horrible situations that have come about kind of came through social media, and people are more aware of it because of social media. So it's kind of like an ironic thing that happened. It's like, you know, our president says, well, we won't have coronavirus if we don't test. Like, yeah, I guess we wouldn't have George Floyd if nobody filmed it. And that's the horrible part, you know, is that we were being so blinded that we're not aware, not seeing that this is happening all over the place.
That's right. So, excellent. Now, you both trained at JKO School. Is that where you actually met?
Yes, we're both students.
Yeah, I moved there when I was 15, but with my father, and Nayara moved there at what age?
I was 16, and I moved by myself. I mean, I was by myself since then. And I didn't speak English. It was very, you know, difficult time, but I think a lot of a lot of dancers do that, so.
Oh, Nayara, that's extraordinary. I didn't know you didn't speak English when you came to the country. Wow, huge learning.
I did not, and I came with $200 in my pocket, and I said, this is my dream, and I'm going to go. So I said, Mom, I know it's hard and it's difficult, but I'm going to take that journey because it's my dream, right? And then when you're young, you kind of just take risks. If I was my age now, I would think twice, but I didn't. And yeah, I was at JKO for 2 years. And after that, I went to so many other places as well, and they changed.
Well, I have to just focus a bit on the will and intention and determination of such a young person, you know, to say, okay, this is my dream and I'm going to make it work somehow. That's extraordinary. And I do want to say one thing, you know, it doesn't matter how old you are, risk still must be a part of your life, because it isn't reserved for the young. The beautiful thing about youth is that we have more, it's funny, more moxie and more courage to say, okay, you know, this is it, you know, and perhaps it's because we have not lived as much life. So we're going to make our life. But the thing is that I try to instill that when I work with people, that risk.
I was just about to say that. You used to, the first time I worked with you said, Nayara, go there, take the risk. And after I worked in the change, I never was the same. I think I learned so much. And when I worked with you again, I was so excited because I was ready to grow even more. It's amazing.
Yes, you were. You were extraordinary in that role. I remember watching the show, and you went for something so completely, and it was a turn, and it's like you hovered in this place and then looked at the audience and said, see what I can do. And it was amazing. I remember that moment so clearly. It was beautiful.
Think that was the first time I think they start seeing me, Nayara, as a dancer, because some roles they never see you. And after Tilts, I know because Angel came to me, he was like, oh my God, I didn't know.
Yeah, but I was there that day. Nayara, I was on stage when he came to you. I was behind that, and I listened to him talk to you, and I was like, it's the background.
Oh, that's really good.
And Sterling, so you went there with your dad, you said.
Yes. Yeah. I had a very kind of different track than Nayara, even though we've ended up in the same company. My father is the one who he actually homeschooled me my whole life and got me into sports. I played football, basketball, baseball, lacrosse as a musical theater up to about 11. And then he had me try dance. And I really fell in love with it. It was like a athletic performing art for me. And after doing a couple summer intensives at ABT in New York, we decided to move me to the school January 2009. And I was in the school for a year and a half, and then I was lucky enough to join ABT2. And then I joined the main company and danced there for 6 Met seasons from 2010 to 2016.
Wow.
And then by chance, both Nayara and I received contracts at Pennsylvania Ballet and ended up in the same company. Yeah.
That's beautiful. The kismet of life.
Yeah.
Not just kismet, there's intention involved.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you can't get anywhere unless you work. It's a lot of hard work, and that creates a certain impetus and energy moving forward. But I think, like, I want to note something you said earlier about the perfect perseverance of a dancer. I think dancers are very special in that we have to decide at such a young age to put our eggs in a basket, which is really hard to do and often very scary for parents and all that because it's so competitive. But I think that that's such an important thing for life is having that perseverance and knowing that no matter what life throws at you, you can get up and keep going. I mean, we live in the city of brotherly love and Rocky, which we can talk later about the video I made with the dancers. But yeah,
talk about it now. It's great. Talk about it now. Talk about, because I saw that video.
Okay. Yeah. And
it was beautiful. So let's talk about it now.
And then Nayara can probably talk about the video she made with Brenda Alon and others.
Yes.
So it was really interesting process. During quarantine, we actually came back on to work for 7 weeks with a PPP loan. Action plan. So we kind of finished out our contract, and we did virtual rehearsals. We did other allocated work duties, like I called 120 donors on the phone, and I had already started through the PA Ballet Instagram with the dancers teaching live stream classes, and that continued, and they got more dancers involved. So there are a bunch of things like that. But before that, in about mid-April, I decided, this is such a momentous time, and whether the dancers in the company now stay or leave or whatever happens moving forward, I wanted to create something that we can remember. And you can do that with video. So I sent an email out to the dancers asking who'd be interested in being involved to collaborate on a video project, a handoff dance video that I had seen a few other companies do, where one dancer dances the end of it, begins the next person. But I wanted ours to be very unique, and I think it did become unique because all the dancers really got involved and put their heart into it. So it had kind of come to a halt. We couldn't get music rights for any of the ideas we wanted. One of which was Going the Distance by Bill Conti from the original score of Rocky, which is one that I really wanted to be the music for our video, just because I thought it so personifies our city. And with the help of Beatrice Affron, our music director, she was able to actually get in touch with Bill Conti's agent, and he allowed us to use it free of royalties. It's a huge thing. So once that happened, then I set up a lineup of, 4 groups of 7, and each group did their piece and passed it on. And then actually Oksana Maslova's husband, Anton, who used to be a dancer, and he actually is very skilled with editing, he edited it all together. And at that time, we decided to call it Go the Distance instead of Going the Distance, more like, let's do this together. And it was an idea of hope and perseverance and positive energy moving through this difficult time, that we will get through this. And then right when we finished it, George Floyd and all of that went down. So immediately the video and all social media posting kind of took a stop in a second. Everybody was kind of like, you know, we're not going to be posting TikTok videos during this like crisis, this humanitarian crisis. And so it kind of took on an extra meaning. And so the company wanted to post it, but we decided to, I was on that at the time on the media committee that Shelley Power put together. And because of the delicacy of the situation, we decided to post it along with making another video. Jermel Johnson, principal dancer, got involved with the media committee, and his brother had written this poem.
Yes.
We decided to make On-Help pushed us to make a quick video kind of in response to the situation with the message, "We stand with you." And it's basically Jermel and Nayara and Dennis Maciel. They all, one after another, read this beautiful poem that Jermel's written. And then I picked, or On-Help picked I believe it's 8 dancers from 8 different countries in our company saying in their native language, "We stand with you," because we felt this isn't just an American issue, this is a world issue. I mean, look at Brazil. Brazil's had just the same struggles and continues to go through a lot. But then the agency that we're working with right now, doing the marketing, decided to put them together as one image. So it's the poem, video, and then Go the Distance put together. So that was actually just a really, I think both of us kind of got choked up when we finally saw the result, because it was like, it took 8 weeks, 9 weeks until it was actually posted, of perseverance and focus and working on it and getting everybody involved. And to see it out there, and that I think it really made an impact, was really amazing. And so I urge everybody to go check it out. It's on at PA Ballet. It's Go the Distance, and yeah, enjoy and feel the message.
Let me just say it again. It's at paballet.org, right?
Oh, at PA Ballet, the Instagram, they have it on the Instagram. Good. And Facebook, and I believe also on their YouTube channel. It's also posted on me and Nayara's and many of the dancers' private Instagram.
Excellent.
Yeah, so that's true.
No, that's beautiful. That's excellent. And we'll be able to say those tags again at the end, just to make sure, okay? Nayara, what was the video that you made that Sterling's speaking of?
So yeah, with everything that was happening, Sterling had his project, and I started to think that I wanted to protest my own ways, being a dark dancer. And I have so many friends that were feeling the same way, and they are from Brazil. And somehow we feel that we can't really talk because, oh, we are dark, but we're not American. And there's some validation to it, because I know we don't go through it in the same way, but we do go through it, right? There is racism everywhere. And I have a bunch of examples of it just that I've been through just because of my color. I go to a restaurant, they ask me for the menu or a beer, and it's like, I don't work here. You probably think I work here because of my color. And those things we don't say because we think we should take it, and we are foreign and we can't really talk. And in this moment, it was kind of a relief, because we can't talk. We realize we can, because we're suffering as well. And we got together, we did a group of 5, which was so hard. I don't know how Sterling did it with all the company, because there's a lot of opinions, and I would like this, I would like that, and it's hard to please everyone. But we did it, and we did a message about equality, and equality as a whole in the world. Like, we want to be seen as you know, one. And from Brazil, from Africa, from any other place from the world, it's the same thing. It's the same feeling. It's in different intentions, but it's the same feeling. It's in different levels. So we did this. We used the music from Philip Glass, and yes, because he's amazing. I know you know that. And we kind of all improv, and it came from our hearts. And I thought it was really interesting because there were so many movements of falling and coming back up, or choking, or you know, really how we feel inside, and that we can't really express it all the time, right? And even when we talk now, because I have been doing a lot of talks of how I feel in my story, and sometimes after I call Jamel and I'm like, oh, was I too harsh, or did I say something wrong? And it's amazing because we are not used to really say how we feel or how things actually hurt us inside, you know? And through that video and through talking now and doing those interviews is definitely like, it helps me grow, and it makes me calm. It makes me feel like, oh, they want me to talk. I want to be heard, and I can express myself. So this is really important. I felt like through the video also helped, and I got so many good feedback from a lot of friends and people that didn't even think that I felt this way, right? Just because we were there and we have a nice face on and we kind of go through it and have to be strong, people don't think that we feel this way. So I feel like it was really important for me to release that video. You can find it in my account as well. The video is called Equality Matters. And yeah, it's just been really good. This process is really good because, like I said, I can talk now and I feel like people want to hear.
So a couple of things, Nayara, Sterling, hearing both of you. Courage feels good.
Mm-hmm.
Courage is building that line within you, and not a line of steel that's unmoving. It's this beautiful plastic line that courage, each step of courage, just hearing you speak now, each word of courage, these are the foundational blocks that are there for the people even younger than you. This what is happening now with the protests and just having these conversations. You know, I'm 53. It's different. I've been having these conversations since I moved back to America because Frankfurt Ballet was a far different company. You know, we had many people of color working there. I thought this was something that had changed in the ballet world, right? It felt like it was an equitable place on many levels. Strong women, opinions, but it gives me so much heart to hear this courage now of hearing your age people exactly like you're doing, Nayara, and as you as an ally, Starling, you know, and me as an ally. It's remarkably uplifting. But the energy of this is what's important. It's that push to keep it going. And you know, over these talks I've been hearing it. So it is quite inspiring to keep hearing it.
And I appreciate the talk.
We have it. Well, I know, but I think we might have a chance. It's kind of exciting.
Yeah, I mean, I think so too. And I think you touched on something that rang true to me that I wanted to bring up is you're like, from the company I came from, dancing in Europe and coming back, you're like, I thought we had kind of moved past some of this stuff. And I think that's like, when all this went down, I think I was even in more shock than Nayara, because Nayara's lived a lot of it. Yes. I was almost like, and I felt horrible about that I was kind of like, but this is like, it's still 1953, you know, like, what's going on?
1853, or you know what I mean? I mean, it's,
yeah, I mean, it's like,
Helen, if I
very good.
And talked a little bit. I mean, for me to get opportunities or to get in the country, I felt like I needed to paint myself white. I shared that story already in my Instagram. When I did the YAGP, I did the finals, and my teacher, she asked me, and she said, can I paint you a little lighter so then you have more opportunity to get a scholarship? And I said yes, because I would take anything to fulfill my dream is to have an opportunity. And just for the fact that I thought that that was the way out, it would be better for me to get an opportunity. That's not okay. To paint myself white, that's not okay. So, and that was a couple years ago. So it's still there.
Yeah, but now the work is happening, right?
It is.
Seems like we're.
And it needs to keep happening.
Oh yes, it does. Sterling, what were you going to say?
Well, now I got off track, but yeah, I mean that story is it's almost unbelievable, but you know, it's true, and it's like to tell a 15-year-old girl that she has to be white to succeed is, and also for the teacher to truly believe this and think that she's doing a positive thing, is kind of a demonstration of a structural issue, you know, that we need to get involved with. And you know, what I believe in the world in general is for a more equitable community and nation is, I believe in education, opportunity, and then everything after that is merit, because I believe in healthy competition. But I think right now for so many, the education and opportunity just isn't there.
That's right. And they might be trying as hard as they can, but they can't get a seat at the table.
There is no chance of merit if you don't have the first two. And I think a lot of people say, well, it starts from the grassroots, and it does, but real change has to happen at the top. And I think the only way it does happen, I mean, it just, nothing will, you can yell and scream and go on and on, but if it doesn't happen at the top, it doesn't happen at the top. Now, but the only way it will is by doing what we're doing now and being courageous and standing up and feeling like everybody can talk and this is what we want, and voting and changing it.
Voting.
In every aspect, from our government to, you know, demanding it from the leaders of our organizations to really make change. Don't just keep talking about it. Let's work together to do it.
I want to bring something up. We've kind of like covered the last question now, which I love because it's happening right now, but there's a lot more questions I have for you along other lines. But I feel like Pennsylvania Ballet is a good example. Correct me if I'm wrong. Of it looks, I find there's a looks like the face of America in many ways, many nationalities. What do you feel? Tell me.
I would say that we're very diverse in that, in countries. Like we have a lot of different countries.
Yes.
I think we are fairly diverse, but I think there's still, you know, work to be done.
Of course there is. I'm just saying that there, you know, the work to be done. Again, I had this wonderful guest. Well, they're all wonderful. You guys are all wonderful. But Teresa Ruth Howard, who really is the head of the Diversity Project, goes into companies, talks about this. She has this project, Mob Ballet, which really discusses the history of the African-American ballet dancer in America. And we touched on something, and I've been repeating it because I think it's so true. Change happens as fast or as slow as you want it to happen. So that's a very interesting concept, right? Because I've heard very often, well, you know, we're working on having more female choreographers and more directors. You know, we really are. And I'm thinking, okay, so there's a lot of us out there. Can this change be, you know, moved more forward to the table so we can maybe feel the change a little bit sooner? And I think it's the same for people of color. You know, I think the change can happen a little faster than happening.
Yeah, and I think it's important to have dancers the opportunities also. So, sorry.
Oh yes, go ahead, Nayara.
Yeah. No. I agree. I think that it could be a little bit sooner, but for the fact that we put that on the table, that's good. That's good to hear that from another person instead of just me talking, you know. But I think that yes, I think K Ballet is a very diverse company, and he gives really great opportunities. But my issue is, I think, more global. There's a pattern for everything. There's a pattern for certain ballets. I mean, it's really hard to see a dark Giselle. It's really hard to see a dark swan. It's like there are some patterns that I feel like not every company, a lot of companies, most of the companies are still having, and I understand it's classical ballet. It is hard. It is hard. You have to have a technique. But in the same time, being a dark dancer, I would like to see a swan that doesn't have the really amazing legs, but she has it. You know? I would like to see more opportunity in that way, meaning let's just break that pattern. It's 2020. You can see beauty in any way. And that's why I love contemporary work, because you see beauty for who we are, right? And you make it work. You do it for your body, and it's just like you always sees the best of it. And I think we can work like this, because working in a certain way, we're lacking. We're at some certain audience are lacking the beauty of a dark dancer, because we're not white. We're dark and we're beautiful, and there is so much beauty.
I want to move on, but I do want to say one thing to what you just said, Nayara, which is so true. I think I see it as a choreographer as far as movement. And I actually remember a conversation with you, Sterling, about this when we were creating at one point. It was a short conversation, but I think many classical dancers still separate contemporary and classical. And the fact that they are not married, and I know they can be married because I came from a classical background, and then I went to Forsyth, and now I'm back in contemporary ballet. Now I love the technique of ballet. I love to see beautiful classical work, but for me, beautiful classical work is less about the pose and more about how they find themselves and their movement in it. So Nayara, it's what you're talking about. The marriage of contemporary and classical, they are not as separated as most people like to make them. And it's the same thing. The marriage of race within the classical idiom. My question is, I literally look around, I'm like, well, why not? I mean, I don't understand, you know what I mean? And I think there are more and more thinkers like that, right? There are more people saying, an artist is an artist is an artist. So if that person, like you said, the merit and is given the chance, and that person will do Giselle, will do Albrecht, will do, the prince, any prince role, any princess role. And you're right, then we get more audience. Then we have the example of little kids saying, I can be like her or him, because I see myself in them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, something else? No?
I think that's very important. Okay. That, I don't want to hear from anybody in charge of anymore of what, the look or things that are always saying, and it's about this. Yes, the structure must be strong. Yes, it's competitive. Yes, we're, work to be world-class athletes. But, people want to go see some crazy stuff. They go watch acrobats and gymnasts. This is the structure that you build, the education you build is the language that we share with. It's an art form. And I think that's, working with you, as Nayara said, you were another level that I went, and it helped me moving forward to push past boundaries that I had, set up. Actually, another person who we're about to teach for again, Nathan Bland, works. Yeah. And he brought you up, and he was like, oh, Helen Pickett changed my life. Helen Pickett took me to that next level. And it was she was intense, but she was amazing. She made me the dancer I became. I was like, that's
so funny. Tense is always a part of my description. And I'm thinking,
But it's a good thing. It's a good thing. It's better than, oh, she was so boring, but you know.
No, I don't think I ever get that. As I had another friend laugh with me the other day because she said, yeah, you know, I was dancing and you were walking really close to me and talking to me. And I was like, and I started cracking up. I was like, maybe I need to rethink that tactic because I do that all the time. I get into people as they're dancing and think, maybe just say it for fun.
But you think out of it is a good thing, I think.
Well, also, I get to practice my matrix,
Yeah.
like avoiding the legs and the arms, of like the near miss. Keep some proprioception strong.
Yes.
Let's get to some art. More art, because this is all art. So, okay, yeah, I like this. Nayara, I have worked with you twice now in DTH and in Pennsylvania Ballet. Sterling, we worked together in Pennsylvania Ballet. By the way, I loved working there. I really felt I really felt they went to bat, building that huge platform in that studio, how all the dancers helped undo the platform. I mean, there's so much generosity in that place. What I recognized in both of you is the ability and yet the willingness to shift and flow with change. Now, we touched on this a bit, but we're going to go down as far as roles. You know, I think you can share your thoughts on the importance of this very this very important ability. Did you learn this? Where and when? So yeah, Nayara, why don't you start? So it's the ability to shift and change and flow. It's the willingness to shift and flow within the idea of change.
Okay, so I was at the National Ballet of Canada and I went to DTH, so that's change, right? So in my life, I am used to change. And when I work at PA especially, it's like we work with you, Helen, and then we go to Lake, right? So it's a change. Everything about a dancer needs to be a change. And I feel some of us are not so open. Maybe because of experiences, maybe because of what they like, or maybe because of maturity. But I learned that you only are going to understand your work when you have that shift. When and how is when you're ready to be open. And me giving up a little bit of the classical to when I have experiences like you and take it fully has helped me with the classical. But I had to give up first. So that's the change. That's when it happens. When you give something up to understand that you're going to have it again, but you need that time first. I grew so much after DTH because I was ready to be raw. And maybe I came back a little bit too raw for the classical, but I have never understood my body so much more than before, right? So I think that's the change. And that happens to you when you are ready. And that's why I hear so much when you talk choreographers that are successful talking. It's like they're not ready. I think they're not mature. Maybe wait a little bit. And I love your process because you do an audition. You give the opportunity to everyone. And I think that you also give some maturity in the improvisation. So you read the change for the ready. I think because of my experience of being a really classical company and a more contemporary has made me able to do that shift and to understand it and enjoy it. So that's how I feel about that change. And I think it's so crucial. You can only be one thing. You can only be classical because you're also not going to be fulfilled, right? So I think that's how I see it.
Beautiful. Sterling, you want me to repeat the question a little bit, or you good?
I can talk about that. I mean, first of all, isn't Nayara just such an incredible woman?
Yeah, she is.
I respect her so much. She's gone through like so much change and just persevered through it all. And that's actually, if you want to talk about change, I struggle with that. because I had a very, like, the way my head works is like, give me this, I do this. You know, I'll get things done. I'll keep going, keep going, I'll keep pushing. And the way my life kind of happened, it was just like straight track, you know. And like, even being hired as a principal and coming here at the time was terrifying to me, because I don't like change, which is kind of, you know, we're talking about it. Like, I'm a creature of habit. I like to get into the zone and move, but making that change and coming here and everything I've experienced has added such another level to my dancing and me as a person. And I think it's continuing to evolve me and make me aware of, like I was talking about earlier, you know, don't just keep growing the same way. You have to fix it. You have to make that moment where it's like, this is the decision. I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm going to do this. I'm going to be more open to change. I'm going to be calmer, you know? And I think that the dance that I've experienced in PA, which I wouldn't have at ABT, which I'm not just talking about the classical, as I'm talking about the contemporary choreographers I've worked with, has expanded me so much in ways that I didn't expect, you know? That it pushes you to think deeper, and it pushes you, well, physically and mentally. You stretch your body physically, you stretch your mind mentally, and then, like you said, I think it made me a better classical dancer.
Yeah, and you know, I do believe that we choose the people we're with. You know, there are many reasons. Some of it is to stay in a habit, but many reasons it's because you admire something in them that you have not yet been able to take in. And Nayara said something really beautifully. I'm going to change the words because I'm not going to put words in your mouth, Nayara. But don't have to. Space needs to be made in order for new to come. And hearing you talk, Sterling, is that maybe the hard part is not the change. The hard part is letting space. And that's when you say Nayara is an amazing woman. Yes, she is, because the sum of her life and all the change and all the no's and all the hardship. Well, this actually, it could do two things. It makes some people get harder, but it made Nayara keep creating space. And I, you know, as I grow older, I change the semantics, and it's that allowance that I think lets that evolution, that endless infinity figure eight, you know, because that's what's happening. We're going down the slide and the change, or the seems easier, and then oop, that uphill's happening, and that uphill is going to make me work, and I might not like it.
Yeah.
You know, and I might come in contact, but yeah, beautiful. Both of you dive into roles, search out the why and hows of your role, and I know you both love your research. Can you expand on the difference between how you approach classical roles, and this goes back to what we were saying, but I think it's still valid, and contemporary roles? I ask this because I believe there is story in every role, regardless of narrative or, let's say, more abstract contemporary. So Sterling, let me start with you this time.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that 100%. And when I go into a role, I go into it first and foremost as an artist, and obviously the physicality is what we do, what you're seeing, but it doesn't have intention and understanding of the role behind it. It becomes empty. It's just movement. So, you know, when I go into a role like Albrecht or Siegfried or Romeo or Basilio, about all these, you know, classical roles, I actually, they often have a pretty straightforward A to B storyline. But I've always found the more I, you know, when I actually got to perform them and go through the rehearsal process, I actually found that you make them as complicated as you want, because you're also free to project your life experiences onto the template that's already there.
Yes.
Right. So, I mean, Nayara knows I've become such a crier, like the Romeo and Juliet into Giselle year. I was just like crying for a whole year because I was so into this world and taking what I had experienced and making it me. I think that's another important thing for classical dancing is, you know, always inspired by other dancers. But I've surprisingly, when I got in the role, you know, I feel like sometimes people go and watch all these videos of other dancers doing the role, and I've never actually really done that because I like to do the role like Sterling. You know, I don't want to do the role like a bad imitation of somebody else. That's like I think George Gershwin went to visit Maurice Ravel, and he was asking him to help teach him how to compose. And Ravel said, well, if I teach you, you'll just become a second-rate Ravel. Go become a first-rate Gershwin. You know, and it's like you can never do that as good as they did it. It's kind of ironic for me to say because I'm such an imitator. I'm very, like, I mold to the situation I'm in. I'm like a human chameleon. I'm way too much. But with this, yeah, I feel like that's been very important. And as for contemporary roles, it really has a lot to do with the choreographer I'm working with and the inspiration I'm getting from them, and what vision do they have and where do they want me to take it. And I think what's been beautiful about that is that every process has been different.
Yeah.
It's never a cookie cutter. And with each of those processes, I think not only do I grow as a dancer, dancers grow, but I think the choreographer grows every time with a new set of people.
Absolutely.
Later and seeing the growth in both of you.
Yes.
Like relationships, it's an ebb and a flow, and it goes in and out in like waves, circles. Everything is like you said. Life is about circles. It's nothing straight line.
Yeah. Yeah. Nayara, I know you love, so we might want to start with the role that you will come back to, but you almost got to do. The research with this Kitri, was it?
The role I couldn't do, it was Nikia.
Nikia.
Yeah. Well, I approached classical and contemporary mentally differently. Because of the contemporary, I think I'm better at classical, but mentally, I already see classical as a pattern because it's so ingrained in my mind that unfortunately I see with tension. Even my friends say that, Nayara, you're so good at contemporary, just dance how you dance contemporary classical. And I was trying really hard, and that's why I was so excited to do Nikia, because I felt like I was reaching that. And that was a really great discovery. And with that discovery, I discovered to, as an artist, dance how I feel the room. And sometimes I feel that I'm really tired and I feel the room is very dark. And I'm not going to pretend that I'm fine, right? So I'm going to dance with a little low energy and feel my energy there. And that's going to be my artistry, because I think it's going to be more effective and it's going to be real. So I was starting to try to do that, because in contemporary, that's what I do automatically. I am the mood, and I can be sassy, tired. I can be sassy, a little sad, but I'm going to follow the character of the dance, but I'm going to feel really how I feel. And I think that that's what is artistry. It's not, oh, it has to be a certain way. You smile here, smile there. She's very sassy. No. It's for me, is how you feel. You feel the room, you feel your energy, and you work with that. So that's the difference between classical and contemporary. I still need to work on the classical. There's a lot to go. But once I work this way, I feel more satisfied as an artist.
Yeah. Beautiful. Yeah, and just to let you know, it's a lifelong process. You will,
Oh.
you know, I have to say, I've been retired since 31. I still think of things that, you know, I think, oh yeah, okay, could have been dropped into that role. It's not very often because I don't miss the stage. I felt really fulfilled by my career, but 100% agreeing with both of you is the person that I'm audience now, connect with the actual person. And the audience doesn't know that. The audience doesn't say, oh, I'm seeing real Nayara, but they know they're connecting with a human being. They know they're understanding, feeling of what this human being is in touch in like you said, in the aspect of where you are in that moment. And both of you touched on that, Sterling and Nayara. Beautiful. Okay. This is the first time I've asked this question. What are the roles that you still need to dance that you haven't danced yet? Nayara, I'll start with you. Like, I mean, that you really want to dance.
I really, it's a classical one. It gets stopped a little bit. I need to dance Giselle. It's simple and clear. I have always dreamed to do it and dance Giselle. And as far as contemporary, I need to dance every contemporary. Yeah, I just love it, and I cannot stop. I don't want to ever be in a company that is just classical.
Yeah.
I just would be satisfying.
Giselle is an amazing role. Talk about a journey.
Talk about a journey.
Yeah.
And about control and about the story. I think you have to relate a little bit, you know, with the story. And I feel like it's just like, it touches my heart, and it's there. It's something that you feel it since a young age. And it's something that I know that I can be good at it. I don't want to be cocky, and I don't say that all the time. I just know I can, and I want.
Absolutely. No problem saying you're going to be good at something, girl. And Sterling, is there a role that you still haven't danced that you really would love to dance?
Doing Giselle with Nayara.
Yeah.
Wow.
That would be amazing. I have a few actually, and I think it kind of lies in what I said earlier of how I really love performing and the artistic aspect, and that it's a language for the emotion. You know, it's my favorite role is Romeo, and from there I would want to do, you know, I hope to do at some point in my career is the Lady of the Camellias, Manons, Onyeg, and things that just like
Franco.
Yeah.
John Franco, man.
It's like living a life on stage.
Yeah.
And also just like the length of them, like what you experience, and like Romeo, and actually Nayara and I got to do Romeo and Juliet with Boca Ballet Theater in Florida, and it's like, you know, you could talk about that too. You feel like you lived the whole life after every performance. Like you've gone from a point, you went through everything, and you finish at a point, and it's just like, you know, you just like cry every time, you know. And I would really like to do more ballets like that, and hopefully get some of those here, or you know, who knows what the future will hold.
That's right. You know, you can summon it into your consciousness.
That's right.
So, here we are at some, I believe that we've covered the, you know, the shifts that need to be changed to a more equitable community. That's really big, but I feel like we did a really great talk about that. So I'm going to end with two lighter questions. I'd like to hear from each of you. One, I know there are many, but one favorite or impactful memory along the way in your creative life. I'll start with you, Nayara.
So my ballet life or creative life, meaning outside?
Any Any favorite or impactful memory that shifted or changed you in some way?
Oh, okay. I have many. When I did the YGP, the gala, the YGP 2020, it was just very recent in January. That was really special to me because I left the country because of YGP. YGP is the reason I'm here. My mom never had money to support me. So I always depended so much in everyone. And when I was able to do the gala, because they called me after my whole work, after 4 companies, it was so satisfying to see that I did it.
Beautiful. I feel that. Beautiful. Yeah. Sterling?
I was actually lucky enough to share that with her. We did JKO and Esmeralda in one show.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was a lot. I mean,
I'm here.
I'm gonna cry. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm gonna cry too. I think impactful experiences. I mean, there's been so many, and relationship and everything. I remember one moment that really like hit me on stage. Well, there's so many. I don't know. One that was kind of like a turning shift was my last Met season at ABT before I came here. I was also under Fairies, and we rehearsed it for 4 months, and she was now 53. She hadn't done it for a while, so I was actually the same age as her daughter, 22. So, but it was just such an incredible process, and he really taught me ballet acting. You know, going through everyday acting with her, he taught me about being in the moment, not getting stuck to whatever template you think it is, whatever structure you think it is, right? I would go in the next day and it was different, and I'd be like, well, but yesterday you did this, and she's like, that was yesterday.
Exactly.
It's like there's the choreography, and then there's what we're gonna do in it to make it real, because it's not real unless it's real.
That's right.
And the audience can feel that. They can tell if you're acting.
That's right.
So it really kind of culminated, and it was one of my last shows at ABT. I think that added to it. But the last scene where I was going to stab me, and I fell, and I made sure to fall away so I could see her like final scene where she wakes up and sees him, and just swell in the music, and when she came up, and like actual tears, and just everything, and
Having a hard time hearing you. Something shifted.
I was just like, yeah, that was a moment I was like, that's it,
Yeah. Beautiful. What a gift, huh? From both of you. What amazing moments. Beautiful.
You got us both crying.
Oh, that's good. That's why we love our art so much, right?
Right.
Yeah. It brings us to love, actually.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It brings us to love. And last question before I ask you about where to find you guys, all your handles.
Yes.
Do you have a daily inspiration or an insight that you can share?
An inspiration?
Yeah, something daily, something that you do every day as part of your, or maybe it's not every day, but it is something that you keep coming back to, a mantra or an inspiration or a mindset.
Yeah, well, that goes back a little bit to what I said. If you're talking about inspiration or something that drives you to do something, as a dancer, let's just go to that topic real quick. Everybody has, oh, I love Marinella, I love Paulina, I love this, I love that. And I love these people, but my biggest inspiration at the studios are people. Are when I'm really not wanting to do that variation and being lazy, I see someone's having their day or their time of their life. There's always someone's day, and you see they're doing it and overcoming. That's my inspiration of the day. So for me, especially in quarantine, I am going a lot for walks or like, because you're alone, right? Is a big part of it is distancing. But I see watching people and see how they're overcoming, and down with my friend Erlan is just see how he's doing, how everyone is taking it. Sometimes it's dark, sometimes it's really beautiful. It's being my inspiration. People are going through it, and sometimes we think we have it worse, and we don't. And that should be our inspiration, you know. And every day, like, everyone has that strength, and in seeing that strength in everyone is my inspiration every day. And I feel lighter. I feel like we can all make it, because we have to take it from ourselves, you know.
Yeah.
And that's been my guideline for now.
That's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Gorgeous. Sterling?
Because it's kind of hard to top that, because I'm kind of the same way.
Good.
People have always really inspired me, and I feed off of people's energy, you know, whether partnering or it's relationships or, you know, whatever. I'm very social. I like to talk to people. I like to hear their thoughts and be involved. So that's really important for. I lost my train of thought. Yeah,
it was daily inspiration, and you said that you were along the same lines as Nayara. That people. So Nayara spoke about people in the studio. If she was having a bad day, the energy of someone else would immediately infuse her. And she also spoke about, during this time, of seeing different people's journeys on walks, how everybody is trying to uplift themselves. If people are in the dumps, the good energy can lift those people up. So that's what she was.
Yeah. That's really what I wanted to say.
Good. Well, it's beautiful. You two, it's so nice to see you again, first of all, and just to hear you talk about your art and your passion and your social work, the work that you're doing socially. Beautiful, the way you're uplifting so many students through your teaching. Really a beautiful talk. I would like to hear now, very generous too, generous-hearted. I would like to hear about your Instagram handles. I have, and then you can tell me what else you have. I have at Baca Lopes. This is Instagram. I have at Nayara Lopes. I have at Sterling Baca, and then TikTok. And then, of course, let's not forget, Pennsylvania Ballet also has bios of these two amazing people that you can learn more about them. Is there another place we can go? Because we mentioned the Pennsylvania Ballet to see this amazing video. Is there anything else that I've left out?
Well, actually, the accounts, at Baca Lopes is actually the TikTok account.
Okay, thank you.
And then my account is at Sterling Baca. Nayara's account is actually Nayara M. Lopes.
Thank you.
S at the end instead of Z.
Exactly. Yeah, that's also Brazilian.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
Of course, yeah, at PA Ballet, all PA Ballet, and you can see what videos we've been talking about on our personal accounts or PA Ballet.
Beautiful. If you guys wouldn't mind staying with me while I finish up, and then we'll say our goodbyes.
Absolutely.
So again, thank you to you two amazing artists. So lovely to sit here with you. I can't wait to share this with everybody on the Creative Vitality YouTube channel. And we have 2 new sessions every week, Tuesday and Sunday. And you will find out more about these 2 amazing, generous, inspiring artists on the description page below the video when it is uploaded to the YouTube channel. You'll see 2 short bios that might make you dig further and go to their TikTok or their Instagram, whatever handles they have. Our next session will be with Daniel Harder, who is a former Alvin Ailey American Dance Theater star. He was a student. I taught him at the Ailey School, and he has now made the shift to becoming a Broadway performer in The Lion King. So now my thank yous. Thank you, Gracie Spina. You are a wonderful intern that has seen Creative Vitality Jam sessions through now nearly 3 months. Thank you so much, Gracie. I want to thank, heartfelt thanks always, every session, to the dance community that I get to be a part of every day. I am humbled and sustained and inspired by every single aspect of this profession. It really is food. It is food. And I want to thank you 2 amazing artists for being here today and sharing your time. So keep reimagining creativity. We're all full of creative thoughts, and I look forward to the next time. Bye.
Thank you so much.
Bye. Thanks.
Hi, thank you.